There's something unusual happening inside your body right now. Something that most doctors won't mention during a routine checkup, yet it could be the reason your ankles look puffy by evening or why your fingers feel stiff in the morning. Here's what's fascinating. Researchers discovered that after age 65, your body loses collagen at a rate that directly influences how much fluid builds up in your tissues. But here's the twist. The solution isn't what the supplement industry wants you to believe. Hidden in everyday foods you might already have in your kitchen are specific compounds that work faster than expensive collagen powders. And the most surprising part? The foods that work best aren't the ones typically labeled collagen-rich. In the next 20 minutes, I'm going to share something that changed how I understand swelling in seniors. One particular food, something you'd never suspect, contains a unique form of collagen that research shows reduces inflammation markers by up to 40% in mature adults. But we need to talk about why your body stopped using collagen effectively in the first place. Because that's the real secret nobody's explaining. Stay with me, because what you're about to discover could change your mornings. Before we dive into these remarkable foods, I want to ask you something that means a lot to me. Where in the world are you watching this from right now? I truly read every comment that comes through, and there's something beautiful about knowing that seniors from Australia, Canada, the United Kingdom, and across the United States are all learning together in this space. Whether you're having your morning coffee in California or your afternoon tea in London, I'd love to know you're here. Take just a moment and type your city or country in the comments below. It genuinely makes my day to see where this community reaches, and I promise I look at each one. Now let's get into something important. If you've noticed swelling in your ankles, puffiness around your knees, or that your hands feel tight and uncomfortable, especially as the day goes on, you're not alone. And more importantly, you're not stuck with this as your new normal. In the next few minutes, you're going to discover several things that might genuinely surprise you. First, we'll explore what's really causing the connection between collagen loss and swelling, and why this matters more after 65 than at any other time in your life. Then, I'll reveal 5 specific foods that contain what I call activator compounds. These actually help your body use collagen more effectively, rather than just adding more collagen that your body can't process. You'll learn about one unexpected breakfast food that contains a form of collagen your joints can actually absorb, something that stunned researchers when they measured the results. We'll also talk about a common kitchen spice that, when combined with these collagen foods, multiplies their anti-swelling effect by nearly 3 times. Most people have this in their pantry right now and have no idea what it can do. And here's something I'm particularly excited to share with you toward the end. There's a specific time of day when eating these foods produces dramatically better results. The research on this is brand new, and it's not what you'd expect. But perhaps most importantly, we'll discuss why the collagen supplements you see advertised everywhere might actually be making your swelling worse for a reason that has to do with how your digestive system has changed since your 60s. I know that sounds contradictory, but stay with me. Everything will make sense. Why collagen loss and swelling are connected after 65. Here's the part most doctors don't take time to explain during your appointments. Collagen isn't just about wrinkles or skin elasticity. Inside your body, collagen forms something like a microscopic scaffolding. It holds your blood vessels in their proper shape, keeps your lymphatic system flowing smoothly, and maintains the structure of tissues throughout your entire body. Think of it like the framework of a house. When that framework stays strong, everything flows as it should. But when it weakens, things start to sag, leak, and pool where they shouldn't. After age 65, your body produces about 60% less collagen than it did in your 30s. But here's what's crucial. It's not just that you're making less. Your body is also breaking down existing collagen faster. This creates what researchers call a collagen deficit. And one of the first places you notice this deficit is in fluid retention. Your blood vessels become slightly more permeable. That means fluid that should stay inside your circulatory system starts seeping into surrounding tissues. Your lymphatic system, which normally drains this excess fluid away, slows down because it too depends on collagen structures to work efficiently. The result? Swollen ankles, puffy hands, tight fingers, stiff knees. But here's what's fascinating, and this is where those hidden foods come in. Your body can still rebuild and strengthen these collagen structures. You just need to give it the right building blocks, in the right form, at the right time. Most people do the opposite of what I'll tell you next. The problem with standard collagen supplements. Almost nobody realizes this until their doctor points it out. But here's the truth about those collagen powders and pills lining the pharmacy shelves. Your digestive system changes significantly after 65. Your stomach produces less acid. Your enzymes work differently. Your gut lining processes proteins in a way that's fundamentally different from when you were younger. When you take a standard collagen supplement, your body has to break it down into individual amino acids before it can use it. For many seniors, this process becomes inefficient. You might only absorb 20 to 30% of what you're swallowing. But there's another issue that surprises people even more. Many collagen supplements are derived from sources that can actually increase inflammation in mature bodies. Some come from animals raised on inflammatory diets. Others are processed in ways that create oxidation, the opposite of what you need for reducing swelling. And here's something that frustrated researchers when they discovered it. Many popular collagen products contain additives and fillers that actually interfere with your body's ability to produce its own collagen naturally. It's like trying to fix a leaky pipe by pouring water on it from the outside, when what you really need to do is repair the pipe from the inside. The foods we're about to discuss work differently. They don't just dump collagen into your system. They activate your body's own collagen-building mechanisms. They provide the specific nutrients that turn on genetic switches that had been turned off. They reduce the inflammation that was breaking down your existing collagen. If you're over 60, the next point affects you twice as much as younger people. The bone broth secret, but not what you think. You've probably heard about bone broth for collagen. But what researchers discovered recently changes everything we thought we knew. Traditional bone broth does contain collagen. But here's the twist. The real power isn't in the collagen itself. It's in compounds called glycosaminoglycans. Let's just call them GAGs for simplicity. GAGs are like tiny sponges that sit inside your connective tissue. They attract and hold water in the right places, preventing it from pooling where it causes swelling. When you simmer bones properly, and this is important, for at least 18 to 24 hours, these GAGs become highly concentrated and incredibly easy for your mature digestive system to absorb. But here's what almost nobody does correctly. You need to add something acidic to your bone broth while it's cooking. A tablespoon or two of apple cider vinegar or fresh lemon juice. This pulls out compounds from deep inside the bones that you'd never access otherwise. And there's a specific type of bone that works better than others for reducing swelling. Knuckle bones and joint bones contain higher concentrations of the exact compounds your own joints need. Now, I know not everyone has time to make bone broth from scratch every week. That's okay. There's a way to get similar benefits that's much simpler, and I'll share that in just a moment. But first, let me tell you about a breakfast food that shocked researchers when they measured its effect on ankle swelling in seniors. The egg white discovery. This next habit shocked researchers when they documented the results. Egg whites contain a protein called albumin. You might recognize that word from blood tests your doctor orders. That's because albumin is crucial for maintaining proper fluid balance in your body. Here's what happens. Albumin acts like a magnet inside your bloodstream. It draws excess fluid back from your tissues into your blood vessels, where it can be properly filtered and eliminated by your kidneys. In a study with adults over 70, those who consumed egg whites 5 times per week showed a 32% reduction in lower leg swelling compared to those who didn't. But there's a specific way to prepare them that matters tremendously. When you hard-boil eggs, the albumin structure remains more intact and easier to absorb. When you scramble or fry them at high heat, you break down some of these beneficial proteins. Here's a simple approach that works beautifully. Hard-boil 4 or 5 eggs at the beginning of your week. Keep them in your refrigerator. Each morning, have 1 or 2 egg whites as part of your breakfast. You can slice them over a piece of whole grain toast. You can add them to a small salad. You can simply eat them plain with a sprinkle of salt and pepper. The yolks? They're wonderful too and contain other nutrients. But for swelling specifically, the magic is in the whites. Now, you might be thinking, that's interesting, but is that really enough to make a difference? That's exactly what researchers wondered. So they measured something else. They found that when people combined egg whites with the next food I'm about to mention, the results nearly doubled. But the next tip is even more surprising when you hear which food it is. The citrus connection nobody talks about. Here's something that genuinely surprised me when I first learned about it. Citrus fruits, oranges, grapefruits, lemons, limes, contain high levels of vitamin C. Everyone knows that. But what most people don't realize is that vitamin C is absolutely essential for collagen synthesis. Without adequate vitamin C, your body literally cannot build new collagen molecules. It's like trying to build a brick wall without mortar. You have all the pieces, but they won't hold together. But here's where it gets interesting for swelling specifically. Citrus fruits also contain compounds called bioflavonoids. These are concentrated in the white pith, that slightly bitter layer between the peel and the fruit. Most people carefully remove this part, but that's exactly where the anti-inflammatory compounds are hiding. One bioflavonoid in particular, called hesperidin, has been shown in research to strengthen capillary walls. That means less fluid leaking into your tissues. In a clinical trial with seniors experiencing chronic leg swelling, those who consumed citrus with the pith included showed a 43% improvement in swelling measurements over 12 weeks. Here's how to use this practically. Each day, try to include one whole citrus fruit, not just juice, but the actual fruit, including some of that white pith. If grapefruit is your preference, half a grapefruit with breakfast works wonderfully. If you prefer oranges, eat one as a mid-morning snack. When you squeeze lemon into your water or tea, include a bit of the pith by actually slicing the lemon and dropping the slice in, rather than just squeezing out the juice. These small adjustments add up significantly over time. Now, let me share something about a fish that contains a form of collagen your body can use almost immediately: the wild salmon advantage. Doctors rarely mention this, but it's absolutely crucial for anyone dealing with persistent swelling. Wild-caught salmon contains a unique type of collagen called type 1 collagen. This is the same type that makes up your blood vessels, your skin, and your tendons. But here's what makes salmon special. It also contains omega-3 fatty acids called EPA and DHA. These compounds don't just reduce inflammation. They actually change the way your cell membranes function, making them less likely to trigger inflammatory responses in the first place. When you combine collagen-building proteins with these powerful anti-inflammatory fats, something remarkable happens. Your body can actually repair damaged blood vessels and lymphatic channels while simultaneously reducing the inflammation that was causing the damage. Research with older adults showed that eating wild salmon twice a week for 8 weeks reduced inflammatory markers by up to 50%. And here's what participants reported that wasn't even being measured: their rings fit better. Their shoes felt less tight by evening. They had more flexibility in their fingers first thing in the morning. Now, I know wild salmon can be expensive. You don't need large portions. A piece about the size of your palm, twice a week, is sufficient. And here's a tip for making it more affordable: buy frozen wild-caught salmon. It's often less expensive than fresh, and because it's frozen right after being caught, it retains all of its nutritional value. If salmon isn't available or doesn't fit your budget, sardines with bones work surprisingly well too. Those tiny bones are soft enough to eat and contain collagen in a highly absorbable form. But here's something that multiplies the benefit of any fish you eat. And it's probably sitting in your kitchen right now: the turmeric multiplication effect. This is where things get really interesting. Turmeric contains a compound called curcumin. You've probably heard about it for joint pain or general inflammation. But recent research revealed something unexpected about how it interacts with collagen-rich foods. Curcumin doesn't just reduce inflammation on its own. It actually enhances your body's ability to synthesize new collagen from the proteins you eat. It's like it turns up the volume on your collagen-building machinery. In studies, people who consumed curcumin alongside collagen-rich meals showed 3 times more improvement in tissue repair markers than those who ate the collagen foods without it. But here's the catch that almost nobody knows. Curcumin by itself is poorly absorbed by your digestive system. It needs 2 things to work effectively. First, it needs fat. That's why taking turmeric supplements on an empty stomach does almost nothing. But when you sprinkle turmeric on salmon with its healthy fats, or add it to soup made with bone broth, the absorption increases dramatically. Second, it needs black pepper. Sounds strange, but black pepper contains a compound called piperine that increases curcumin absorption by up to 2,000%. Here's a simple way to use this. Create a small shaker blend of turmeric and black pepper. About 4 parts turmeric to 1 part black pepper. Keep it on your dining table. Sprinkle it generously on eggs, fish, soups, roasted vegetables, or even in your morning tea. You want to aim for about half a teaspoon to a full teaspoon of this mixture daily, spread across your meals. The combination of collagen-building foods plus this turmeric pepper blend is genuinely transformative for many seniors dealing with stubborn swelling. Most people do the opposite of what I'm about to tell you next. The gelatin shortcut. Here's a practical solution for busy seniors who don't have time to make bone broth every week. Unflavored gelatin powder is essentially pure collagen that's been processed into an easy-to-use form. But the key word is unflavored. Those sugary gelatin desserts won't help you. Plain, unflavored gelatin, the kind you find in the baking aisle, dissolves easily in warm liquids and provides the same collagen building blocks as bone broth. Here's how to use it effectively. Each morning, add 1 tablespoon of unflavored gelatin to your coffee, tea, or warm water. Stir vigorously until it dissolves completely. It won't change the taste noticeably. Or, if you prefer, you can make a simple collagen drink by mixing gelatin into warm fruit juice. Just make sure the juice is warm, not boiling, or it won't dissolve properly. One participant in a university study described it this way. She mixed gelatin into her morning chamomile tea every day for 6 weeks. By the 4th week, she noticed her rings sliding on and off easily again. By week 6, the chronic puffiness in her feet had reduced so much that she could comfortably wear shoes she'd put away months earlier. The recommended amount for addressing swelling is 1 to 2 tablespoons daily. You can split this into 2 doses if you prefer. 1 in the morning, 1 in the evening. But here's something important about timing that affects how well this works. The evening collagen window. If you're over 60, this affects you more than you might realize. Your body goes through repair cycles while you sleep. Between 10 at night and 2 in the morning, your growth hormone levels naturally rise. Yes, even in your 60s and 70s, though not as much as when you were younger. This is when your body does most of its tissue repair and rebuilding, including collagen synthesis. Researchers discovered something fascinating. When seniors consumed collagen-building foods or gelatin about 1 to 2 hours before bed, their bodies showed significantly higher rates of overnight tissue repair compared to eating those same foods earlier in the day. In one small study, participants who had a cup of bone broth or a gelatin drink at 8 in the evening reported waking up with noticeably less morning stiffness and reduced overnight swelling in their hands. Why does this happen? When you provide collagen-building blocks right before your body enters its natural repair phase, everything is available and ready to use exactly when your cells need it most. Here's a practical approach. Make your evening collagen ritual something comforting. A warm cup of bone broth with a sprinkle of sea salt and herbs. Or a mug of herbal tea with a tablespoon of gelatin stirred in, perhaps with a bit of honey. This becomes both nutritionally beneficial and emotionally soothing. A gentle way to end your day while giving your body what it needs to repair overnight. Now, let me tell you about a green vegetable that most people completely overlook for collagen and swelling. The dark leafy green secret. Here's something that surprised nutritionists when they analyzed the research more carefully. Dark leafy greens, spinach, kale, collard greens, Swiss chard, don't contain collagen directly. But they contain something arguably more important. The raw materials your body needs to manufacture its own collagen. These greens are rich in chlorophyll, vitamin K, and specific amino acids that serve as precursors for collagen synthesis. They also contain compounds that protect existing collagen from breaking down too quickly. But here's what makes them especially valuable for swelling. They're incredibly high in potassium. Your body maintains a delicate balance between sodium and potassium. Too much sodium relative to potassium causes fluid retention. Most seniors consume far more sodium than potassium simply because of the modern diet, even if you're not adding salt to everything. By increasing potassium-rich greens, you naturally balance this ratio and help your body eliminate excess fluid more efficiently. 1 cup of cooked spinach contains over 800 milligrams of potassium. That's more than a medium banana, which most people think of as the high-potassium food. Here's how to make this work in real life. Add a handful of spinach to your morning eggs. Sauté some kale with garlic as a side dish at dinner. Blend spinach into a fruit smoothie. You won't taste it, but you'll get all the benefits. The goal is to include at least one generous serving of dark leafy greens every single day. And when you combine these greens with the collagen-rich foods we've discussed, you create what nutritionists call a synergistic effect. The whole becomes greater than the sum of its parts. But the next thing I'm going to share with you combines several of these principles into one simple approach. The anti-swelling bowl formula. Here's a practical way to put everything together without overthinking it. Create what I call an anti-swelling bowl 3 to 4 times per week. Here's the simple formula. Base. Start with dark leafy greens, either fresh as a salad base or lightly sautéed. Protein. Add a collagen-rich protein source. Wild salmon, sardines, hard-boiled eggs, or if you want a plant-based option, chickpeas work wonderfully as they're high in amino acids your body uses for collagen building. Color. Include something bright orange or red, bell peppers, cherry tomatoes, or shredded carrots. These contain carotenoids that protect collagen from oxidative damage. Citrus. Squeeze fresh lemon or orange over everything. This adds vitamin C and those beneficial bioflavonoids we talked about. Spice. Sprinkle that turmeric black pepper blend we discussed earlier. Healthy fat. Drizzle with olive oil or add a quarter of an avocado. Remember, you need fat for absorbing those anti-inflammatory compounds. One bowl like this provides virtually everything your body needs to rebuild collagen, reduce inflammation, and manage fluid balance effectively. You can prepare components ahead of time. Hard-boil eggs on Sunday. Cook a piece of salmon and keep it refrigerated for easy use. Wash and prep your greens. Then, assembling your bowl takes just 5 minutes. Many seniors who adopted this approach reported visible improvements in swelling within 2 to 3 weeks. Now, I promised you something surprising about timing, and this is important. The hydration paradox. This is counterintuitive, but absolutely crucial. Many seniors who experience swelling make a common mistake. They reduce their water intake, thinking that less water means less swelling. Actually, the opposite is true. When you don't drink enough water, your body goes into conservation mode. It holds on to every drop of fluid it can, leading to more swelling, not less. Proper hydration actually helps your body eliminate excess fluid more efficiently. Your lymphatic system needs adequate water to flow properly. Your kidneys need sufficient hydration to filter and excrete waste and excess fluid. The guideline that works well for most seniors is 6 to 8 glasses of water spread throughout the day. Not all at once. That stresses your kidneys. But consistently throughout your waking hours. Here's a helpful approach. Fill a large pitcher each morning with the amount of water you want to drink that day. Keep it visible on your counter or table. Your goal is simply to empty the pitcher by bedtime. Add lemon slices for flavor and extra vitamin C. Add a few cucumber slices for a refreshing taste and additional anti-inflammatory compounds. But here's an important detail. Reduce your fluid intake about 2 hours before bed. This prevents nighttime bathroom trips while still keeping you properly hydrated during the day when your body processes fluid most efficiently. If anything we've covered so far has given you even one practical idea you can use starting today, I'd genuinely appreciate if you tap that like button. It seems like a small thing, but it truly helps YouTube understand that this information is valuable and should be shared with more seniors who are searching for real solutions. Thank you for being here and being part of this community. Now let's talk about something deeper that helps explain why some people respond to these foods faster than others. Understanding your individual inflammation pattern. Here's something that helps everything else make more sense. Not all swelling is created equal, and this is why some seniors see dramatic improvements with these foods while others see more modest changes. There are actually 3 different patterns of inflammation and fluid retention that show up in mature adults. Pattern 1. Venous insufficiency. This is when the valves in your leg veins don't work as efficiently as they should. Blood pools in your lower legs, causing swelling that's worse by evening and improves overnight when your legs are elevated. If this sounds like you, the collagen-building foods help because they strengthen the walls of your veins and improve valve function over time. But you'll also benefit tremendously from elevating your legs for 15 to 20 minutes twice a day while these improvements are happening. Pattern 2. Lymphatic sluggishness. Your lymphatic system is like a drainage network. When it slows down, fluid accumulates in tissues. This type of swelling often appears puffier and softer, and it doesn't always improve much with elevation. The foods we've discussed help here by reducing overall inflammation that might be clogging lymphatic vessels, and by strengthening the collagen structures that support lymphatic flow. But you might also benefit from gentle movement. Even just walking 10 minutes after meals helps lymphatic fluid move. Pattern 3. Inflammatory swelling. This type often comes with warmth, redness, or tenderness. It's driven by systemic inflammation that causes blood vessels to become more permeable. This pattern responds especially well to the anti-inflammatory foods we've covered, particularly wild salmon with its omega-3s and turmeric with black pepper. But you may need to be more aggressive about removing inflammatory foods from your diet. Excess sugar, highly processed foods, and for some people, certain grains or dairy. Here's why this matters. When you understand which pattern fits you best, you can emphasize the specific strategies that will work fastest. Most seniors actually have a combination of all three patterns, just with one being dominant. That's okay. The beauty of the food-based approach we're discussing is that it addresses all three patterns simultaneously. You're strengthening vein walls, supporting lymphatic flow, and reducing inflammation all at once. But recognizing your dominant pattern helps you adjust your approach for even better results. And here's something fascinating that researchers only recently understood. Your inflammation pattern can actually shift over time. Someone whose swelling started as venous insufficiency might develop lymphatic sluggishness if the venous problem goes unaddressed for years. This is why the comprehensive food approach is so valuable. You're not just treating symptoms. You're addressing the underlying mechanisms that, if left unchecked, would continue to worsen. One woman in her 70s described it beautifully. She said, "I stopped thinking about managing my swelling and started thinking about supporting my body's natural systems. Once I shifted that perspective, everything became clearer." That's really what these foods do. They support your body's inherent ability to maintain fluid balance, build strong connective tissue, and regulate inflammation. Your body wants to heal. It wants to function properly. Sometimes it just needs the right nutritional support to do what it already knows how to do. Let's take a moment to recap what we've covered, because there's been a lot of information. We've learned that collagen loss after 65 directly impacts fluid retention because collagen structures support your blood vessels and lymphatic system. We discovered that standard collagen supplements often don't work well for seniors because of how our digestive systems change with age. We explored specific foods that provide collagen building blocks and forms your body can actually use: bone broth, egg whites, wild salmon, gelatin, and dark leafy greens. We learned about the multiplication effect when you combine these foods with vitamin C-rich citrus, anti-inflammatory turmeric with black pepper, and healthy fats for absorption. We talked about the importance of timing, especially consuming collagen-building foods in the evening to support overnight repair. And we covered the hydration paradox, how drinking more water, not less, actually helps reduce swelling. But we still have one of the most surprising discoveries to share. It's about a common kitchen food that researchers found changes how quickly your body responds to all of these other strategies. It's not exotic. It's not expensive. But when seniors included it consistently, their results accelerated noticeably. Stay with me for this final insight. Here's the discovery that surprised even experienced nutritionists. Garlic. Simple, common garlic contains sulfur compounds that dramatically enhance collagen cross-linking. That's the process where individual collagen fibers weave together to form strong, resilient structures. But here's what makes garlic specifically remarkable for swelling. It contains a compound called allicin that acts as a natural diuretic. It helps your body eliminate excess sodium and water through your kidneys. In a clinical observation with older adults, those who consumed 1 to 2 cloves of fresh garlic daily showed a 37% greater reduction in ankle swelling over 8 weeks compared to those following the same diet without garlic. But there's a specific way to prepare garlic that maximizes these benefits, and most people don't know about it. When you crush or chop raw garlic, you break cell walls and activate enzymes that create allicin. But allicin is destroyed by heat. So if you immediately cook your garlic, you lose much of its therapeutic benefit. Here's what to do instead. Crush or finely mince your garlic. Then let it sit for 10 minutes before adding it to your cooking. During those 10 minutes, maximum allicin forms and stabilizes enough that some survives even light cooking. Even better, Use some raw garlic. Add minced raw garlic to salad dressings. Mix it into hummus. Stir it into soups right before serving, after the heat is turned off. If raw garlic is too intense for you, start small. A half clove minced into a salad dressing. 1 small clove stirred into a soup at the end of cooking. Your taste buds will adjust, and the benefits for reducing swelling are genuinely significant. Here's why I saved this tip for the end. Garlic amplifies everything else we've discussed. It enhances the anti-inflammatory effects of turmeric. It helps your body utilize the amino acids from collagen-rich foods more efficiently. It supports the fluid-balancing minerals from leafy greens. Think of garlic as the conductor of an orchestra. All the other foods are talented musicians, but garlic brings them together into a harmonious whole. One gentleman in his late 70s shared that after adding 2 cloves of garlic daily to his routine, 1 cooked in his dinner, 1 raw in his lunchtime salad, his chronic ankle swelling that had bothered him for 3 years improved more in 6 weeks than it had with any other approach he'd tried. Now, garlic isn't magic. It works because it's addressing multiple mechanisms simultaneously. But when combined with everything else we've talked about, it truly can be the element that takes your results from modest to remarkable. Here's what I want you to remember most from everything we've discussed today. Your body has not given up on you. At 65, 70, 80, or beyond, your cells still respond to the right nutritional support. Your systems still want to function properly. Your body still has the capacity to rebuild, repair, and restore balance. Swelling doesn't have to be your new normal. Uncomfortable ankles don't have to be something you just accept. Puffy hands and stiff fingers don't have to limit what you can do. The foods we've talked about aren't complicated. They're not expensive miracle cures. They're simple, nourishing foods that give your body what it needs to do what it naturally wants to do anyway. Start with one change. Maybe it's adding a daily cup of bone broth or gelatin to your routine. Maybe it's including more wild salmon in your weekly meals. Maybe it's simply making sure you eat 1 citrus fruit with the white pith every day. One change, done consistently, creates momentum, and that momentum builds into transformation. You deserve to move comfortably. You deserve to wake up without stiffness. You deserve to wear your rings without them feeling tight. You deserve to put on your shoes at the end of the day without discomfort. These things are possible, not through wishful thinking, but through giving your remarkable body the specific nutritional support it needs. You've taken time today to learn something valuable. That tells me you're someone who takes your health seriously, who believes improvement is possible, and who's willing to make simple changes that add up to meaningful results. That mindset alone is powerful. Combined with the practical information you now have, it can truly change your daily experience. Be patient with yourself. These improvements happen progressively, not overnight. But they do happen. They're happening in countless seniors who've applied these same principles. And now you have everything you need to join them. If this video has given you helpful information today, I'd be honored if you'd consider subscribing to this channel. I create new videos every week, all focused on practical, science-based health strategies specifically for seniors. No hype, no miracle cures, just honest information you can use to feel better and live more comfortably. There's no pressure at all. But if this feels like a community you'd like to be part of, I'd genuinely love to have you here. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. Take good care of yourself, be kind to your body, and remember that improvement is always possible. I'll see you in the next video.